I want to do bad things with you, boy ex-boy. I want to do bad things with you. Chapter
I'm
1,
recording, by the
Jace
way.
and I used to be best friends.
Yeah, I know.
We did everything together, that is until he told me that he is gay. I couldn't handle it. How could my best friend, the guy that I trusted with my deepest, darkest secrets, the guy that I trust with my life, be gay? It was completely unexpected, and if he didn't tell me himself, I never would have believed it. He didn't look gay and he didn't act gay. In fact, he used to be one of the most popular guys in school. We played football, went to parties, and picked up chick together. Girls loved him and he seemed to have found them sexy and intriguing. I guess he was just a good actor. Watch out. I heard somebody yell and turned around just in time to catch the football that was heading directly towards me. If didn't catch it, it would have been one hell of a blow. I should really concentrate more on my surrounding, but I was way too preoccupied with watching Jace. He's changed so
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yo, what the fuck?
much in the last year that I found it hard to
No.
believe that he was actually the same guy. He's grown his hair so that it hangs in his face and he even wears makeup. I mean, I can still understand the piercings, but makeup? Seriously? Makeup is for girls, not guys. I shook my head, trying
No, that's cap, bro. That shit is cap. Makeup is for anybody that you want to be or for anything that you want to do. You can wear makeup as a woman or a man. Personally,
Well, I mean, if you're gay,
oh,
then
yeah,
yes, I can see why you would wear makeup. But
yeah,
as a
yeah.
woman, it's even better. I mean, painting your nails as a man, I guess.
Yeah, there's guys that do that. But as a man, you can wear makeup, you can paint your nails, bro. Like, there's guys that do that out there. I used to wear eyeliner when I was emo. Like, I wore makeup. I mean, I didn't paint my nails or anything, but I wore eyeliner, so Richard, you could do that shit. There ain't nothing
Yeah,
wrong. Richard, there ain't nothing wrong with that.
yeah, I mean, I guess.
to get rid of all thoughts of him as I kicked the ball back to Jason. Jason and I have been hanging out together a lot over the last year, but no matter how cool of a guy he is, I can't seem to stop missing the friendship Jace and I shared. Jason must have noticed that I wasn't into playing, so instead of kicking the ball back to me, he kicked it over to a bunch of our friend. They all continued playing, but I just didn't feel like it. You could say that I was moping if you want, it'll be the truth. Lately I've really been missing Jace. At first it didn't bother me so much. I made my decision after all, but lately it hasn't been as easy I thought it would be. Especially since our moms are still best friends. Drake, Alana exclaimed as soon as she saw me. She was in the cafeteria with her friends and obviously pleased to see me. "Hi babe," I replied as she ran over to me and literally jumped into my arms. I hugged her tightly against me, pressing my lips to hers. We've been dating for over a year now, and I couldn't have asked for a better girl. She's pretty, with an extremely hot body, and to top it all off, she is always in a good mood. "I thought you guys were going to practice," she said as I put her back down on her feet. "I just didn't feel like it," I replied, shrugging my shoulders. Luckily Alana doesn't ask too many questions. We were already dating when Jace and I had our fallout. I never told her the reason why. I just said it's personal. I might not accept the fact that he is gay, but I'll keep his secret. I owed him that much after all we've been through. I sat with Alana and her friends for the rest of lunch. I tried to act like nothing was bothering me, but seeing him sitting alone day after day was really starting to get to me. He used to be popular, just like me, but since I cut all ties with him and decided to go all emo, nobody even bothers to talk to him anymore. He keeps to himself. Talking to nobody.
Yeah, see, I was right, bro. I knew it. Emo. That's the reason why his hair was long and why he's wearing fucking makeup and has his nails painted. Fucking was right.
There's no gay.
Well, yeah, you do get called gay for that, for being emo, you do. But then after sometimes you really don't. I mean, I didn't. Richard, when I was emo, I didn't get called gay at all. I mean, no one called me gay. It just left me the fuck alone. So, and that was like,
Yeah.
and Richard, that was like a long ass time ago. Like really fucking long.
Unless he has to, and sitting alone in class. The guilt of seeing him so miserable is slowly eating away at me. He acts like being alone all the time doesn't bother him, and although the other kids might buy it, I don't. Later that afternoon, I dropped Alana off at her house and then made my way over to mine. The night dragged by slowly, and no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get Jace's face out of my mind. The pain I saw in his eyes whenever he would accidentally look at me was killing me. And for the 100th time, I considered asking him to forgive me. But I just couldn't get myself to do it. It was the beginning of our senior year, everything was going perfectly. I am popular and even the teachers like me. I'm quarterback of our football team, and coach said that if I keep playing the way I do that I'll definitely get a scholarship. My dream has always been to be a professional football player, and I could almost
You wanna know something? You wanna know something? Wanna know what this shit reminds me of, bro? I'm gonna show you what this shit reminds me of. I have this one thing on TikTok. I only used it for the sound. But like, I have this one thing on TikTok that literally reminds me of this shit. If I could. It literally reminds, this story reminds me of this fucking shit right here. Like, that's what the fuck this story reminds me of. Are you lonely? It literally reminds me of that shit.
Yeah, just did a fucking boy on boy stuff.
Yeah.
I can't afford to make any mistakes now when I was so close to having it all. I battled falling asleep, and when I woke up the next morning I found myself not looking forward to the day at all. We had a big game tonight and then a party at my house. My parents are great with things like that. Usually they go out and make a night of it, but tonight they are staying at home and they have invited Jace and his mom to come over. His dad died when he was still little, and although his mom has had boyfriends over the years, she never remarried. My mom kind of made it her responsibility to keep his mom entertained, and that meant I was stuck having to deal with hearing about him and seeing him when all I wanted to do was forget about him and the guilt I was feeling. I sighed at the thought and then dragged myself out of bed. I threw on a pair of jeans that I found on the ground and then scrounged through my cupboard for a clean t-shirt. I found a tight white one and decided that it would have to do. It will attract me a lot of attention from all the girls at school, but who knows, it might just help lift my spirit. I grabbed a piece of toast from the table as I made my way out of the house and chuckled as my mom yelled disapprovingly after me. She won't stay angry, she never does. My car was standing in the driveway, so I jumped in, turned up my music as loud as it would go, and sped off down the road. I live about 10 minutes away from school and always listen to my music so loud that the car actually vibrates. The feeling is sensational, especially when you're high and with a girl or two. I was still thinking about that night when something caught the corner of my eye. Jace. He was walking to school since his mom couldn't afford to buy him a car. When we were younger, our parents would take turns driving us to school, and once I turned 16 I got my own car. I used to pick him up and give him a lift, but since our fight I haven't bothered. I'm not sure if he would want to get into a car with me after the way I've treated him anyway. I knew that he must have known that it was me passing him, but he didn't look up once. His hoodie was securely pulled over his head as he stared at the ground. I mentally cursed myself for letting things go so far.
Well, this story is, I swear, this is just gonna get more weird. I know for a fact it is. It's gonna get weird as shit.
Oh, yeah.
But still couldn't get myself to stop. Instead, I pressed my foot down on the petrol. It didn't take me long to get school after that, considering I was breaking every speed limit there was. I met up with Alana in the parking lot and then went in search of Jason and the rest of my friends. I found them at his locker. They were deep in conversation. Apparently Jason wanted to see if he could get into some new girl's pants tonight at the party. Oh well, good luck to him.
Bo needs Jesus more than he needs a fucking female. Bo needs God more than he needs a fucking female.
Yeah.
I might get there first, however, that is if I can get rid of Alana for long enough. Now don't get me wrong. I really care about her, but I already know that we are not going to be together forever. I believe that you will know when you found the one person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, and she isn't that person. I like her, I care about her, and I think she is hot as hell, but I don't love her.
That's fucked up, but that is fucked up.
No.
That is so fucked up, bro. I ain't even gonna lie.
Bro, what the fuck, dude?
You can care about her and you can care about her body, but you don't love her at all. That's crazy.
What?
Okay, ready for chapter 2?
No, but play it.
2. I want to do bad things with you, boy ex boy. Chapter 2. The day dragged by slowly, and I got more irritated by the thought of tonight's party as the minutes ticked away. Jace hasn't been at one of my parties since he told me his little secret, and I had no idea how it was going to play out. Hopefully, he will just keep to himself and spare me the guilt of having to watch him all night. Come on, man, it's time, Jason stated as he walked past me in the hall, punching me on the shoulder. Coming, I replied as I shut my locker door and reluctantly followed behind him. We were all going to his house for a while before the game to get pumped up. It was kind of a pre-match ritual of ours. Every time before a match we would go to one of the guys' houses to grab lunch, and then we'll spend the rest of the day talking crap and motivating ourselves for the game. It usually helps to get our spirits up, but I had a feeling that it wasn't going to help today. I've been in a shit mood since yesterday and I can't seem to snap out of it. Luckily the time flew by at Jason's house, and surprisingly it did lift my spirits a bit. Talking about hot girls with the guys usually works. The stands were already packed when we got back to school, and Alana met me outside the locker rooms to give me a good luck kiss. The game wasn't great, but we managed to win in the end, and the fact that I scored the winning touchdown made me extremely happy. Coach will be pleased, which is a good thing for me since I really want that football scholarship. Alana and 2 of her friends drove back to my house with me after the game. I had hidden a 6-pack of beers in my car before coming to school this morning, and when I pulled them out, the girls all screeched with excitement. I gave each of them one and managed to finish the remaining 2 before we got back to my place. Some of the kids we invited were already there, and I could see Jace's mom's car in the driveway. I groaned to myself as I brought my car to a stop and sluggishly got out. I was considering making a run for it, but I couldn't exactly do that since it was my party in my house. I want another drink, Alana complained as she grabbed a hold of my hand and pulled me inside. I followed, happy to oblige. I needed another drink too. I didn't see my parents or Jace and his mom as we made our way into my house and to the kitchen, where we found a bottle of Sambuca. I set a couple of shot glasses on the table and then poured the black liquor into them. I need a lighter, I yelled to a girl that was standing close by. She seemed pleased that I was actually talking to her and quickly dug a lighter out of her purse and handed it to me. I lit both the shots and then we quickly downed them. I have no idea why people actually light them, but I like the effect, so I've been doing it since I started drinking. After we downed our shots, we grabbed ourselves some more drinks and then headed out into the living room that had been transformed into a dance floor. The place was packed and kids were bumping and grinding against each other to the sound of the music. I danced a few songs with Alana and then grabbed us some more drinks. It went like that for about an hour before she passed out, and I laid her down on the couch like I always do. Alana is a real party animal, but she can't handle alcohol at all. I was used to it by now since it happened so often, and I have actually come to like the idea. It gave me time to really enjoy myself and explore my options. I spotted Jason on the other side of the room talking to 2 hotties, so I made my way over to him. He introduced them to me, but I didn't bother memorizing their names. They're not what's important after all. The blonde girl started making out with him, so I grabbed a hold of the brunette's hand and dragged her to the dance floor. I could tell that she was drunk as she wrapped her arms around me, but I honestly couldn't care. I just wanted to have some fun. I grabbed a hold of her ass and switched.
Bro, doesn't this man have a whole ass girlfriend?
I don't even know. I don't even know.
Bro, I thought this was the guy that has the girlfriend. He's a football player, right? This is the one with the Jason's the gay guy. The other guy is the straight guy.
I don't know.
Well, I swear to God, this guy literally, I thought this guy had a girlfriend, and this man has another woman arms wrapped around him, bro. He's a cheating motherfucker. This bro is cheating, bro. He is literally he's cheating on his bitch when his bitch is right there on the couch sleeping, bro. That bitch, she wakes up. She wakes up. That man's caught red-handed.
Yeah.
Swayed her to the side as I bent forward, leaning in to kiss her. I knew I was taking a chance by doing this in front of everybody, but I felt like taking a risk. It heightens the exhilaration after all, doesn't it? I never got to kiss her though. Right at that moment, Jace's mom came storming past with my mom right behind her. It looked like they were having some sort of fight, which caught my attention and made me forget about what I was about to do. I stared after them in confusion, wondering what they could possibly be fighting about. They usually get along great. Drake, the girl in my arms, whispered, pulling my attention back to her. I looked at her for a second as the strangest emotion washed over me. A feeling of disgust. I was actually planning on sleeping with her. Why would I want to do?
So he's cheating, bro. He's
Yeah.
cheating. What? He wants to sleep with a whole nother woman when his woman is actually on the couch. Bro, ain't no way. He's cheating.
Such a thing when I've got a perfect girlfriend? I asked myself, although I knew the answer. I would do it because I don't love Alana. I've never.
Yeah, okay, I forgot about that part. I forgot that he doesn't love her. I forgot. All he does is
He
just
doesn't
care.
love her, but he's still with her.
Yeah, that's the dumb part about it. How you about to not love? How you about to be with someone that you don't love? That doesn't make any sense.
No.
Like, bro, if you don't love her, leave her ass and go find someone that you actually love. Like, it's not. There's plenty of fish out there. There's plenty of fish in the sea, but if you don't need her if you ain't gonna love her. Like, come on now.
Right.
Loved anybody, and at the rate I'm going, I was kind of scared that I never really will. Why the fuck did you let her leave? I heard an all too familiar voice ask. I looked up and found myself face to face with Jace. It's the first time he has spoken to me since we had our fight, and although I could tell that he was seriously pissed at me, I couldn't help but feel happy that he was actually talking to me.
That's gay as fuck. That man said he feels happy. He's happy about another man talking to him, bro. Yo. Yo, you can't, Richie, you can't be saying happy like that, bro. You can say that's cool, that's alright, but happiness, bro? You happy that a man is talking to you?
Yeah.
Nah, bro, hold on now. Hold on.
I don't know. What the hell's going on? I asked, confused. Drake, the girl whispered again, getting on my nerves. Fuck off, can't you see I'm busy? I asked, pushing her away with just enough force to untangle her arms from me. I guess my actions might hurt her feelings a bit, but I didn't spare a second thought for her. She'll easily find another guy who is willing to show her a good time. She left. I have to go find her, Jace stated, clearly panicked. Okay, come on, I replied without thinking as I took off towards the door. His mom's car was gone, telling me that she drove off. We passed my mom and dad as we made our way to my car. My mom looked upset and my dad was visibly trying to calm her down. I considered stopping to ask them what was going on, but Jace just ran right past them, so I followed, jumping into my car and starting it.
Okay, now we got chapter 3, bro. This story, how are you rating this story right now?
Pretty gay.
Yeah, you're right. It is. It is. I literally now, Richie, I have to make this video not for kids when I post it. This video has to be 18 plus.
Yeah, for sure.
But here we are on chapter 3, so see what this is about.
3. I want to do bad things with you, boy ex-boy. I want to do bad things with you. Chapter 3. As soon as Jace was in the passenger seat, I reversed out of the driveway and took off at a speed. Where would she go? I asked, still confused as to what the fuck actually happened. I don't know, home probably, Jace answered without looking at me. I didn't say anything more. Instead, I turned up the volume on my stereo and started heading towards his house. He didn't live too far away from me, probably about 5 minutes, but it didn't take us that long to find her. At first it was just a glimpse of red paint, but as we came closer it became very obvious that it was his mom's car. It was lying on its side between a bunch of trees next to the road. There was brake marks all over the road and the glass from the broken windows were glistening under the street lights.
So his mom died? She killed herself, bro?
Damn.
Damn, bro, she died over that? All because she was drunk? I mean, yeah, you drink and drive, you're gonna get that type of consequence, but like, Damn.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Not one of us said a word as I slammed on my brakes and brought my car to a stop closely behind hers. My heart was pounding in my chest as I threw open my door and jumped out. Jace reached his mom's car before me, and from the look on his face I could tell that it wasn't good. "Call 911, he yelled when I reached him, his eyes never leaving the trail of blood that was slowly making its way out from her car. I expected him to scream or freak out in some way, but he didn't. He just stood there staring at the wreck in front of us as I took out my phone and called 911. It didn't take the ambulance long to get there, but it was the longest minutes of my life. I had no idea what to do. I was way too scared to try to get his mom out of the car since there was a big chance that I could hurt her more than she already was, and I was way too scared to say anything to Jace. He had this empty expression on his face and I had no idea what he was thinking. I had a feeling that no matter what I said or did, it wouldn't be enough. When the ambulance finally arrived, they carefully pulled his mom from the wreck and loaded her into the back. Her face and clothes were both stained with blood, causing a feeling of dread to fill my body and making me realize that life is way too short to waste on unimportant stuff. Jace got into the ambulance and I followed behind in my car. While I was driving, I phoned my dad and told him what had happened. He said that he would tell my mom and then promised to meet me at the hospital before he hung up. My stomach was doing flips as I drove, and by the time I stopped at the hospital I was feeling sick. I wasn't quite sure if it was because I had too much to drink or because of what happened, but I had a feeling it was the latter. I sat in my car for a minute or two, trying to compose myself before getting out. I had no idea what lay in wait for me inside. Will Jace's mom be okay? Will we go back to ignoring each other? I had no idea, but I had to find out, so I got out, slammed the door and made my way inside. I found Jace sitting in the passage outside of the ER. He had his arms wrapped around his legs, which were pulled up against his chest. He was sitting against the wall with his hoodie pulled over his head, hiding his eyes. I had no idea if he saw me coming, but I was sure that he knew I was there with him when I slid down to the floor next to him. I didn't know what to say, so I just kept quiet, hoping that my presence will give him some sort of comfort. "They don't know if she'll make it," Jace said after a few minutes, his voice surprisingly even under the circumstances. "She will," I encouraged, trying to keep him and myself positive. I didn't want to think the worst. We didn't say anything more, we just sat there in silence until my parents arrived. My mom.
Damn, bro, so this guy lost his dad, and he's about to lose his mom?
Yeah.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
Damn, this man's life is just fucked up. It is fucked up.
Yeah.
In tears and freaking out, which wasn't helping the situation at all. My dad was trying his best to keep her calm but was failing miserably. I could tell that her freaking out was starting to get to Jace when he pressed his hands over his ears so that he didn't have to hear. That's when I knew I had to do something. He didn't deserve to suffer any more than he already was. "Dad," I said loudly so that he would hear me. He looked over at me but kept his arms around my mom. "Can you please get her out of here?" I asked, feeling kind of guilty for asking such a thing but knowing that it was necessary. This was about Jace and what he needed. "Okay," my dad agreed, giving me a sympathetic smile before pulling my mom away from us and into the elevator. I could hear her crying all the way, but as the doors closed the noise faded, leaving us in silence again. We just sat there waiting to hear what was going on. Jace didn't look at me, he just stared at his feet like he always does. I found myself wishing that I could somehow comfort him, assure him that things will be okay, but I couldn't do that.
I don't know. Now listen here. Now listen. Hold on. Hear me out. Hear me out. I don't know if that means in like some sus way or a friendly way. I mean, it could mean in one of those ways. I don't know. I'm gonna guess the friendly way though. I'm gonna take it that way.
Yeah.
That. I couldn't tell him that everything will be okay when there is a very big chance that his mom will die. After about 10.
That's fucked up. Yo, that is dead ass fucked up.
Yeah.
Saying that in front of someone's face. Like,
It's something, bro.
like literally, you were going to hell after that. Like literally after that, you were going straight to hell.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Minutes of just sitting there, and nurse came out of the room where Jace's was in. She couldn't tell us anything though, they were still busy working on her and we had to wait for the doctor. It took about another hour before he came walking out of the room. He had a cold expression on his face as he approached us, and I knew what he was going to say before he did. "Is she your mother?" The doctor asked, looking at me as I stood up to face him. "No, she's his. What's going on?" I asked as Jace looked up at us from where he was sitting. "I'm afraid it's not good. We did everything we could, but unfortunately it wasn't enough," he answered with a straight face as my heart sank in my chest. "She's dead," Jace whispered in disbelief. "Yes, I'm really sorry," he said before turning around and walking away. I looked down at Jace, who was still sitting on the floor, and for the first time since we had our fight he let me see his emotions. It was clear that he was hurting, and seeing him that way almost caused my heart to break. "I'm so sorry," I whispered, my voice catching in my throat as I said the words. He didn't reply, instead a single tear escaped his eye as he stared up at me. That's when I couldn't take it anymore. He was my best friend, and although I tried to move on without him, I couldn't. I needed him back in my life, and I was just hoping that he would forgive me so that I could help him now when he needed me most. I fell down on my knees in front of him as more tears ran from his eyes. "I'm so sorry," I said again, and I really was, not only for him losing his mother but for all the hurt I have caused.
Well, damn, Bo. Yeah, you should be sorry about that. You really should be. That's fucked
Yeah.
up. Lost his dad, now his mom, now he's all alone. Damn.
Him over the last year. He still didn't say anything, so instead of waiting for him to reply or tell me to fuck off, I reached out to him with both my arms. For a second I hesitated, wondering if he was going to push me away, but as he started sobbing I wrapped my arms around him and pulled him into a hug.
Okay, well that's as far as I'm gonna go for today.
We didn't even
So
get to a good part.
no, we did not. Well, actually, I'll continue on this though. Richie, I will continue on this. Do not worry. And Richie, for Richie, don't worry. I will continue on this. But that's just gonna be enough for right now because first of all, this shit is not even getting anything. It's not even getting to the gay part. It's just being sad at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe Richie, I'll do chapter 4 and we'll continue on. Maybe I'll do like chapter 4, like maybe on like Tuesday or Monday or tomorrow. I mean, so I'll continue on this though. I will for sure continue on this. Add it to my library so that we will continue. So, Reggie, hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys in the next one. Peace out.